6:30. Hello. Can you guys hear us okay? You guys hear us all
Yes,
right?
we can, sir.
Oh, we can hear you.
Let me see.
Thanks
Is
for the
it
volume. Yeah.
it's not here. Let's see. Volume. This one. Maybe.
I want
Let's
to
try
just click
this.
on, yeah,
All right, so that's up. Maybe it's this guy.
check on, actually click this and see what this does. Maybe turn up volume here,
Okay, let's see.
preparing live stream.
Okay, that's
Yeah.
at 100. Can you say hello one more time?
Yes, sir. Good evening. This is San Andres. I'm the managing member for Excite Unlimited LLC in New York.
All right,
Can
very
we just
good.
ask him if he's planning to come in person? Is anyone coming in person?
Yeah, do you know if anyone from your team is coming in person? Because this is supposed to be an in-person review.
You guys emailed us on the 27th and said this was a digital hybrid meeting. So we received an email on the 27th stating that we would be a panelist and that this was a digital hybrid meeting. It's also listed on your agenda. Had we known you guys needed us in person, we would have definitely been there.
All right, well, let me just call the meeting to order really quickly. So I'm calling the meeting to order at 6:32, and I'm Nobles. I'm the chair of the Cannabis Task Force with our members here, Carmen, Hector, and also Jermina. Welcome to the task force. First go around with this. And we have a very short agenda today. We are just reviewing the application for Excite Unlimited LLC, who I believe you came last month, correct? And we didn't have a quorum, right?
I did
And you were,
speak to Carmen, and
yep,
I believe there was another panelist that was there, an
yes,
active licensee from the community as well.
yes. Thank you for coming back because we didn't get notice of your application until pretty late in that, and so now we have it to review. Look, here's the deal. In the rules of the application, which we have made to basically replicate the SLA's process for licensing liquor, liquor licenses, you have to be in person. And so that if you can send me maybe what the office sent to you, it should be in the
Yeah, an
packet
email
that
stated
we
that
sent through.
one on your agenda, the meeting says it's hybrid. It's a hybrid meeting.
It's
The
just in
meeting
That's
general for like
right.
attendees.
correct. That's for attendees
Two,
and
two
people that are
email,
not
I can forward this to
reviewing.
your offices now, sir, which is an email we received last Wednesday stating for us to join this conference via the Zoom link. So I can forward
Absolutely.
that. What
So,
email address would you like me to forward that to, sir?
sure, you can just forward it to mine. That's Nobles, like Barnes and Noble with an S, 1983 at gmail.com.
You got it. Stand by.
Thank you. Here, come on in, fellas. You guys here for the Cannabis Task Force? Yeah. Awesome. Here, come on in. We actually just got through our call to order and like a quick welcome. Just said who we are. I'm the chair of the task force. This is the members of the task force. Pull up a chair there. Feel free to sit with us here at the table. And I'm sorry, your name one more
Can you
time.
repeat that email address again,
Sure.
Chairman?
Sure. Nobles, like Barnes and Noble, but with an S. So
Yep.
Nobles,
Okay.
1983 at gmail.com.
83 at Gmail. Sure. I'm going to send this to you now. It'll be coming from my email address, CEO at exciteunlimited.com.
Because it should be in the packet, the rules of review. So correct, like for regular public folks or just people here that want to listen that are cannabis related, virtual, that's fine. But for folks that we're reviewing the application for, we need to have a representative here so that way we can ask and the public can ask in-person questions of that person.
Yeah.
It should be in the initial
I'd be willing to
packet.
answer any questions they have. Please check your email because I just responded. Had I known you need me there in person, had I not received that email on November 27th from your offices, I would have been there and I would have loved to meet you guys and introduce
Sure.
myself and what we plan to do at
Sure.
Excite Unlimited and Unlimited Cannabis in the community and for the city of New York and the state of New York.
We can still talk about your application. And I know that you were here last month too, where I think that you were online. You weren't in person last month. Got it. Look, I mean, I'll be honest, the rules are the rules, my friend, and it's in the packet that you received with the questionnaire that you have to be here in person for it to be reviewed. Now we can still talk about the application, and because there are questions we have with your application that, quite frankly, we've already reviewed it. And there's some things that we need filled in here. We can talk about those things so you can redo the application because as it is right now, there's a lot of questions from the group and we can still go through that process now. And then you can update this, send it back. And then we can do two things actually. The first is if you update this with some of the questions that the members have for you, update it and you can get it back to us before the executive committee meeting, which I believe is
December 16th.
December 16th, then what I can do is bring up your application in the executive committee, which the executives would then approve it. And that would then go to the general meeting. So we can still talk about your application tonight. So there is still a path here, but if that's not possible, get updated information on the application, then we're gonna have to wait till the January meeting.
We can update anything that we see that needs to be updated that it
Excellent.
corresponds to what we've already responded to.
Sure, no, perfect. Then we can talk about your application still tonight. We just can't approve it tonight. With the updated application, then we can bring it to executive committee if we get it in time and then have it approved there. All right? So that's a little problem solved for us.
Well, let me
that
ask
being
you this,
said, though, I would
Chairman.
say,
If you
are
want me to
you-
come in, you're open till 9 o'clock tonight. I can come down there before 8 p.m. and introduce
I was gonna say,
myself to the board.
are you local? Like, can you come?
I'm in my office now in White Plains, but I could be down there at 8 o'clock if it's imperative that you meet me. I have no problem with that. I just sent you an email confirming what we got from your offices, sir.
Yeah. Well, let me see. Board members, if you did get here,
Aren't you in conference till 9 p.m. tonight, sir?
we're in conference, but we close the business of the committee once we've gone through the agenda. Just because this is a volunteer organization. That being said, though, if you want to make a date to come to the executive meeting, I will personally put you through that. And that gives you more time to prepare. And again, that's on the
16th.
On the 16th. So if you came on the 16th at 6:30, between like 6:30 and 7, I will be there as well. And we can plan on that, and then I can usher you through the process there. Does that sound better? Because I just want to.
After that, what would be the corresponding meeting?
And then after that, yeah. So then after that, then your application would go to the general board meeting after it's approved by the executive committee. And then from there, you're good to go. So it's all still done within the timing. Because even if we had approved this tonight, you would still have to go to the general board meeting to have it approved there, just like a liquor license. Like a liquor license, you go in front of the liquor committee, the licensing committee, they approve your application, and then you get revoted on with the general board. So that's the process. So we're still within the process timing. If you can get me updated answers by the 16th, I would say before the 16th.
We'll get that information to you tonight. Again, if it corresponds to what we've already responded to in writing, then we can apply that data immediately, sir. That's not a problem.
Let's still have a productive meeting. Fantastic. Let's still have a productive meeting then. Let's go through your application. We'll give you some tips on, maybe ways to answer these questions so that way it can go through the general board. Because I tell you, the general board, if you've ever been to a community board, general board meeting.
We've already received community board approval from Community Board 11 in the Bronx, New York.
So these people do their homework. And
we're fully aware and we're prepared to introduce ourselves. Had we not, again, received an email on Wednesday, November 27th from your offices, I would have been looking at you in person right now. So.
Sure. Look, listen, so we can still make this productive. And here it is. And you just scroll down there. We can still make this productive. But let me introduce some folks from the public here, because we have folks that we haven't seen before. You'd like to introduce yourself and what brings you to the committee today?
How you doing? I'm Dan Gonzalez. I'm president of the New York State Cannabis Association, Minority Women Professionals.
Welcome.
Me and Jimmy Rogers go back and forth all the time.
All right, very cool. Sir?
Eric Lepard. I've helped maybe 20, 30 people get their licenses.
Wonderful.
I love that.
So I understand the whole process.
Thank you both for coming. And y'all in the bag. Well, what brings you to the Cannabis Taskforce meeting today?
My name is Justice Jermaine. I'm a former law student. And recently I put in applications, by recently, I mean within the past year in November of 2023. And I received an email today saying that, I'm going to get approved next board meeting. So I decided to get more integrated into the community.
Cool.
And see what the process is going to be like.
Congratulations. Welcome.
Thank you.
Nice.
Testament to my work.
Ah, very cool. All right. And sir in the back, what brings you to our task force? Awesome.
By the way, pleasure to meet you guys.
Fantastic.
Awesome.
And I see board member Leo in the house. Thank you for coming. I think you can sign in here too as a board member. Do we take general attendance? Do we have a general attendance?
Yeah.
Is this board members of the cannabis?
Yes, so this is the Cannabis Task Force. I'm the chair, Nobles.
Okay.
These are my committee members. The chair? Yeah, so if you wouldn't mind, just like give me a second, give a 101 to folks.
Yeah.
So basically, in 2022, the Manhattan Borough president wanted to create cannabis task force groups within community boards. And Oh, no, the Manhattan Borough President.
The current guy.
Yes, sir,
Yeah.
Mr. Mark Levine himself.
Okay.
Yep. So he created task force within community boards. And when our chair, Kathleen Diaz, wanted to create one here, she tapped me to be the chair because one, I'm very passionate about the subject. And two, I was vice chair of parks for 6 years. And so that's how I got on this. And then Carmen came on board, and then Hector were some of the original members. We put into place the process. All good. We put into place this process. We created this questionnaire / survey.
Yeah, I've been to quite a few boards of state. No one has ever had it. It's always been emotion.
Ah,
Not just
interesting.
greatness.
Well, we definitely want to have an
This
objective
is-
process
this
to
is-
make
Yes.
sure that all applicants are answering the same questions.
Exactly.
And also, we definitely want to learn more about the business, so it's important to have this.
It's important.
Type of standard fair.
Exactly.
Correct.
And that was the main point. It took us about 6 months to make this process.
Yeah.
We wanted it to be fair. We wanted it to be objective. We wanted to optimize the way that they do liquor licenses and the way that we do this, knowing that there would be a bottleneck of, well, we thought there would be a bottleneck of businesses that want to come in the area and us having to process it. But we've done a lot of research. We've had a lot of great conversations as to what the challenges are in our neighborhood, as why we're not having a lot of cannabis companies come in.
We know what.
There's a real estate. I mean, there's like a real estate issue. There's also a funding
We'd love to
issue.
hear your thoughts.
Yeah, we'd love to hear your
I'm
thoughts on that.
Glad to see the process moving forward. Under Governor,
Coco, yeah.
no, not,
Cuomo.
yeah, Cuomo, because, Kamiki Gibson, who was counsel to the governor at the time, asked me to tweak the model law, just look at the NWB part of it and
Mhm.
the whole thing. So, I mean, I kind of got used to the model law
Uh-huh.
and getting involved in the political process because it was
All
a
that.
political process.
Cogs.
Making sure that black and brown.
And that's
I
what
do
the
it for
number
law
one,
enforcement. I do it for, a whole bunch of groups. I represent the Grand Council of Guardians, so it's blacks in law
Uh-huh.
enforcement. I represent the National Latino Officers Association. I come out.
geez, look at you, man. You're deep.
No, well, I mean, it's a testament that I've been doing this for 25
Public
years.
servant, man. Yeah.
I've always pushed, I mean, back in when I was coming up, pushing the Latino agenda, it was more, of course, Caucasian, and that was the battle itself,
Mhm.
bringing my black brothers and sisters coming into the middle of the thing.
Mhm.
And we fought together and still am doing this. It's like, there's always a fight.
Well, this is a great segue because when we created this survey, we wanted to make sure that we had the community in mind and also protection of the spirit of the law to do exactly what you said. And so in doing this, and we'll get to the application because we ask questions like in the About Us section about what have you done in the community, things like that, because we want to make sure that when we do approve a cannabis dispensary to come into our community, which we've done 3 so far, they're going to be giving back and have already shown they've been giving.
So
And
the
that's a
law,
big
the
piece.
law is working. That's what.
In our community, it is.
Okay.
You
Absolutely.
can't hold it against somebody if they didn't give it.
We certainly can, but if they have a plan, because the thing is that we've heard from the
Right.
public is that they don't
Yeah.
want it to be
There
like
needs to be a
liquor
plan.
stores when they blew up in the beginning, not giving back to the community.
So, would you guys be willing to share this with other community boards?
Of course.
Of course.
CB9, I worked with CB9 on ours.
So, I
Yeah.
wouldn't mind if we exchange emails. I would
Absolutely.
mind pushing an agenda. I like pushing it.
Of course, we can do resolutions too from
and-
this committee.
And the reason why Harlem is slow. Economics, demographics.
Oh, yeah.
That's fair.
Oh, yeah. That's fair.
I'm gonna spend X. I'm gonna spend X,
Yep.
try to get X in return.
There's more foot traffic in Midtown.
There's models that work, right, there's Brooklyn Heights, there's this,
Yep.
there's that, there's carved out Gold Coast.
Yep.
As they call it, that make more sense from a business standpoint.
Mhm.
And the way that this was set up, this was supposed to be the biggest transfer of wealth.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Like
sure.
the guys that sat down and really dug in and put this together, that was their mindset.
Yep.
Whether
Was
it be
the
right or
idea.
wrong or anything, right? But
It's also
that
the
was
biggest criminal justice reform we've had
Yeah.
in decades.
Yeah.
So like all these things, and that's what we try to protect here with the application. We take it very seriously.
No, smart.
I'm
Cool.
glad somebody's taking this very seriously.
Yeah.
You know, Albany and their politics is a lot different from what we have down here.
That's so true.
And, I'm watching this process and it seems to me that the process is moving forward. And this is to keep the community involved.
No,
What's the
because
whole idea of all this?
Yeah.
people that are part of it are making it move one way or another,
Sure.
right? This was created so that it was anti-capital, right? Yes, you can do for a community, but without capital or model that says community reinvestment, whatever model formula that would have been created to
Yep.
make it work, didn't go in. Yes, there's horror stories of debt based on loans that were given that were predatory. Yeah. But that's business.
It's a new capitalist market. There's going to be sharks.
That's business.
But honestly, we're doing good business, and we've seen a really good model of the one Sparkboro, Happy Monkey. I don't think the delivery
The other one
service is up,
hasn't
and
launched
yeah,
yet.
that one hasn't launched yet. But we see these folks doing well. So, and we hope to bring in more. Sorry.
Nice.
Harold's a client.
Oh, sweet. Yeah, they're great guys.
That was an Ocean misstep.
Yep.
Misunderstanding.
But we got it working, and they're up and running. So it's great. Yeah.
This will work.
So let's talk about a new one that wants to. So let's switch over to from an agenda perspective to the application in front of us, Excite Unlimited. One more time, my friend, just state who you are, who you represent. This is your license, I'm assuming. Just tell us your background and we'll get into your application.
Good evening, everyone. My name is San Andres. My last name is Sanford. I'm the managing member of Excite Unlimited LLC in New York.
Very cool. And so so are you the card license holder?
I am the card license holder.
Awesome.
I'm the 80% managing member of the entity.
Wonderful.
And I definitely am, an individual that has seen the justice involved side. And to see that this program in the 3.5 years that my entity has been in this process with the state of New York and the reinvestment that the other individuals present at the meeting are discussing, and the opportunity that my business has to reinvest that capital into Community Board 12, into Upper Manhattan, where currently there are only 2 in operation, 1 pending, and I am the 3rd pending location right now on Broadway, to provide safe, quality, lab-tested, New York State grown cannabis, cultivated in the state of New York at that, and to provide the community with the upliftment and the tax revenue, as well as the economic revenue and job creation that we intend to do at Excite Unlimited is phenomenal. We applaud the state, we applaud OCM, and we applaud Community Board 12 for having us today.
Awesome. Well, thank you very much. So clearly you've had probably a lot of experience and research in this field. Some of these first questions that we have in the questionnaire here are really for kind of established cannabis. So it's fine to say no that you don't have some of those things, which is great. Really, what we're focused on is the about the business section here. So let's go through some of these answers just to make sure that when it is in front of the general board and the public, of course, because they have a piece of this too, that they feel pretty good with the answers. So. And this is a pretty good way, just looking at my board and my members here, it's a pretty good way. You just want to kind of go down these questions here, and then you guys can fire off any other questions you have to maybe fill things in. Okay. Very good. So as you heard us say before, we're really looking to bring in community stewards as companies through this board. And so we'll start in the about section with question number 17 to briefly describe the product services available at the business location. So can you just let us know exactly what type of products you're planning on selling, from vapes, edibles, flower, what exactly you'll be selling, because that detail does need to be in this.
Cannabis products, all into primarily flower, vapes, cannabis oils, targeted for the elderly, arthritic conditions, people 40 plus with arthritic conditions. That is a bulk of the services that we would be providing, along with delivery services to underserved communities throughout the entire city, as well as in Community Board 12.
So for delivery service, do you also have a delivery license too?
We are approved by the state of New York to commence delivery operations. That is correct.
Okay, cool. So definitely we'll get to the delivery part in a second, but the first part that you talked about, the oils piece, really interesting. We got to have that detail here on the 17th question. Did I miss anything on that piece, Carmen?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Definitely have that, because people are going to want to know, are there vapes going to be there? That was a big thing that came up on the first round of public questioning for the.
I'm not really a fan of the vape market. However, there are a lot of cannabis manufacturers, and the small These are small cultivators that received their license just like I did.
Yep.
And and they're now the OCM has labeled them third-party processors. So these are individuals that we will tend to give some sort of shelf exposure to. Is this going to be a primary product, Mr. Nobles, that we want to have in the store 247? It's going to be based on sales. So vapes are not really a product that along the product line that we intend to house. We will determine that based off of sales and market as far as that. Edibles, approved edibles by OCM manufacturers and cultivators, as well as flower, will be a predominant, along with the aesthetic oils infused with cannabis and cannabis beverages.
Sweet. Look, there's no like, over here. We're when it comes to vapes or any other distribution method of cannabis, we have, we're pretty objective when it comes to that. But we just need that detail on number 17. I can move it to question 18. Unless there's anything else. Cool. So how will the business be a benefit to the community? Please note any relationships and partnerships the applicant business may have in the neighborhood. So providing New York State safe quality lab tested cannabis products and online retail delivery service. Totally get that. We know that that's what you're doing. And to be quite honest, to some of our public that was here that also voiced this, you don't necessarily need to have been, Mr. Amazing in the community before this. But we would like to know a little bit more description, because we have this from other cannabis companies that wanted to come in, on like what you're planning to do to benefit the community in this aspect.
Can I also just,
Please.
before you answer that question, I love you introduce yourself, so thank you for doing that. And I'm glad that you're back this time around. Hopefully we would have had you in person. But I'd really love to just hear more about what my particular interests are is really in the intention. What have you done in the community? How long have you been in the community? Are you from Washington Heights? Have you had businesses here? I heard you mention something about CB9 earlier. Do you have other locations opening up in New York City? Like, give us some more of that background and some more of that meat to about your interest in Washington Heights in particular, as we start to discuss how your business may be of benefit to this community.
Not a problem, Carmen. I'm a native New Yorker. I've lived in Washington Heights. I've lived in Inwood. I've been in the community. I'm also a licensed tax professional. I service a lot of small and mid-sized businesses in the community with tax consultancy solutions for predominantly preparing a lot of business returns for my small and mid-sized business clientele, as well as providing working capital to that small and mid-sized business clientele to provide capital solutions for their businesses and to extend their growth. So I've been deploying my resources into the area for well over 30 years. And we look forward to now with the launch of this new line of revenue that we have at Excite Unlimited through our cannabis license to reinvest those tax dollars from the taxes that will be collected. And that 4% that's going to the community, we are aggressively lobbying OCM and the efforts of the state so that those tax dollars are appropriately distributed to the community, and not in other scenarios in other cities. But that's to give you a little background on who we are and what we're doing, Ms. Carmen.
Thank you. And what brought you to cannabis? What's your interest? I know you say you've done a lot of tax stuff, and you have other businesses in the neighborhood. What brings you? What sparked your interest in cannabis?
I'm part of the culture. Okay. I'm a legacy hustler. That's what I can tell you, Ms. Carmen. I'm a legacy hustler. I'm part of the culture. And, with that being said, the community needs this, because I'm actually one member of the community that was harmed on the prohibition of cannabis, Ms. Carmen.
Oh, interesting.
All right, by the 34th precinct. I was one that was viciously harmed numerous times before that bill was repealed. And thanks to Governor Cuomo for repealing that and making that law before he left office. So, to be quite frank with you, this is something that the community needs. People in the community do not need to purchase cannabis-related products illicitly, specifically with the real estate that Chairman Noble mentioned. And with that real estate being monopolized by the illicit shops, it took me almost 2 years to secure this location in our community. Yes, I did get approved for another location in the Bronx, Ms. Carmen. That's CB11 in the Bronx approved us in August for another location on Allerton Avenue. But the landlord's greed after receiving full community board approval and the
Mm.
state ready to issue that license to me, the landlord and I fell out in an agreement because they tried to extort me and my business for 4 times the rent that we initially agreed to.
We've heard of that too. Yeah.
However, now with the landlords that we are dealing with at 4441 Broadway and the significant investment that I've made in the property and the continued investments that I'm making in the property now, we are positioning ourselves to be a bright, shining star in the community. And we look forward to developing future job growth in the community. And that's something that's really big with us here at Excite Unlimited. We're looking to generate that job, and that job growth will be both from our delivery platform as well as our in-person sales in the retail setting.
So this is wonderful, dude.
This
All
is
that
what we would
detail
like to
not in your
see.
application, and I can tell you how
But
to do
I
it.
can't tell you all of that. Y'all got to get it out of me. I'm talking to you.
No, you gotta tell us on
I
the
gave
paper,
y'all what you
man. You
needed
gotta
to
tell
know
us.
on the black and white. But when you meet me and you vibe with me, and that's why I was ready to get down there today. Had I not gotten that email,
No, you're
guys,
good.
I would have been in
Listen,
front of you right now.
listen.
So
you're-
this is also just to shed some light on this. We would love to see a lot of this information on the actual application.
Yes.
One, not only does this maintain a record, just for
Yes.
anyone who would like to see it,
Yes.
this is the information that actually goes towards the board members. When you go to the general meeting, let's say in December, if this moves forward, what's going to happen is that you'll only have a few minutes, about 2 minutes, to
ready to
actually
pitch.
just shed some light. So this is what they're gonna have. To be frank, when I read this, and I think I told you this at the last meeting, I said, be prepared to discuss, your involvement in the community. Tell us more about, your history with Washington Heights. We'd love to see more. This just doesn't have it.
But you got it is the thing. You got it.
Right.
And so like the way that you answer, like number 18, right? You said this, like I can the answers you gave, you can easily answer this. Like number 18, how will your business benefit the community? We're gonna hire locally. I've been affected by the war on drugs. Like I know firsthand what this has done to our community. We're going to have, a very ethical way about our hiring practices. That's number 18. Number 19, describe your community engagement efforts, list business, blah, blah, blah. I have worked for 30 years to help small businesses with their taxes in the community. I'm from, in Washington Heights. I've lived in Washington Heights and Inwood. I'm very familiar with the small business. If you've worked with the bid, put that in here too. So it's like, that would be for number 19. And like number 20, I mean, you kind of basically already answered number 20. Like, sure, I'll come to meetings once I'm approved. I get it. You don't have to, wax poetic there. But 18 and 19, answer what the answer you gave us, dude. That's what people are going to be looking for. Again, this is on the record. So 3 years from now, if someone's coming to CB12 and they're like, why did you approve Excite Unlimited when it came to the cannabis? Be like, go look at their application. And you can talk to me as the chair as to why we approved this. Like, that's what this record is for. I need that 18 and 19 to be more fleshed out with everything you were just saying, man. This is your time. Got me? And then the 2 minutes that you have the general board meeting, say it again, like you said it now. Easy. Cool.
That's not a problem, Chairman Knowles. We'll definitely
Awesome.
update that for you this evening.
Go ahead,
I
Jermina.
have to add, San Andres, right?
That's my name, Senora.
Okay, San Andres. Hi, San Andres. I'm Jumirna. So I wanted to add, I'm really glad that we're having this because this is really going to enhance your application. Like what we're saying right now is all to enable you to get it down on paper, right? And just to make a quick comparison to add to what Nobles is saying, is the fact that on number 18, if you look at the second part of the application on number 33, you talk a little bit about new products, educational events. So if
That's
you're
correct.
saying that on 33, that aligns to number 18.
Exactly.
So you're
Thank you,
making the
Jermina.
bridge, like you already have it. Just switch it over to frame it differently to
Right.
answer the questions more direct.
Thank
So
you.
if you're
Not a
talking
problem,
about
guys.
new products, educational events on 33, when that's about your method of operations, that should be also about your business, directed with number 18, because education aligns a lot with community. So
Yeah.
that's just friendly.
Also have more followers.
Cool.
Are
And then also for your products and services, you should put education in products and services, educational material. That always looks good. Go ahead, Carmen.
I just didn't know we were gonna move forward, but I wasn't ready to move forward yet. I just want to discuss a little bit more about the community engagement efforts. So you said that you've already solidified this space, you've been investing in this space, you kind of like got something going. Can you tell me any outreach that you've done so far? Have you spoken to any neighbors? Have you spoken to anyone at all within CB12? I know some previous applicants, and I know everyone's different, have done outreach to council members, to assembly members, to local stakeholders, the bid. So what conversations have you had so far while you've gone through this process with local key stakeholders in Washington Heights and Inwood?
At this point, because our location is still being built out, we have only engaged with our local neighbors.
And what did that
that's
look like?
the local neighbors and the businesses, as well as the residents that reside on our strip on Broadway. So we've engaged with the owners of Aroma Cigar Shop, which is my next door neighbor. We've engaged the GameStop bar. That's also my next door neighbor, formerly Apartment 78. So we've been with them. I've engaged with members of the actual resident community that live in the building above.
Great.
This is a mixed-use residential commercial property. So we've engaged introduction of what we intend to do at the community and our intentions. We do tend to consider further engagements once our location's fully built out, and then we could introduce ourselves a little more fully to the community. We do plan on doing several engagements with the Office of Cannabis Management as well, and the community members prior to our opening. The Office of Cannabis Management did give us the green light to commence delivery while we are in a build-out stage. So at this point, we wanted to get through your offices and the approval and seek that resolution from the community boards so that we can continue engaging the public as we see fit. I don't want to just run run off with a whole bunch of engagement opportunities and we don't know where we're at with you guys.
Yeah, no, that's totally good. And it sounds like and I know this exact area because I live a few blocks from here. I know the exact area. So it's good that you've talked to those companies there too, because especially the cigar company, because that's kind of analogous to, that area and people's understanding. So that's good that you've engaged. Have you posted? When did the posting start? 2 weeks before?
Yeah.
Right. So before the general board meeting, let me see this calendar here. You're going to want to post. Is that after we approve this?
I think it's after.
It's after. Yeah. But then they won't have
Chairman knows. I reached out to the board earlier in November explaining that the documents we received from your offices misspelled our company.
By the way. Sorry?
We had reached out to you guys in early November requesting updated bills to be provided to us because the bills that come from your offices had our entity name misspelled.
Okay. Oh, is that it?
I never got confirmation from that, but we did intend to post bills at our prior location on St. Nicholas Avenue. And then that location, due to a delay in the landlord delivering possession to, we then went ahead and secured another location directly that the landlord had, which we have possession and control of now.
Cool. So there is a bill that exists that just needs to be updated with your updated information then, is what I'm hearing.
That's correct, sir, because that's what we requested, and we never received any feedback from the office early November.
So then what we'll do is I'll push that on my end. If you could forward me that email, like the last one you had with the bill that you're supposed to post, forward that over to me, and I'll get on and I'll ask the office to update it with the updated information, get it to you as soon as possible, and post that as soon as you can.
You got it.
Because it's going to be important. Sorry?
I'll send that to you right now, sir.
My man, thank you. And I'll get on that. We'll get it to you by the end of this week latest. And then throw that up there, on I'm not sure if there's like a gate or something or whatever, but you might have to print out a few and just post it. Just post it, maybe post a couple of them. And then as long as you have 2 weeks of posting before the general board meeting, when we have to approve this, you're good. So if you can get that up by next Monday, you'll be fine.
Sounds great. If you could send them to me tonight, I'll put them on my gate tonight.
Yo, I love it. I'm good. Yo, you said about that hustle class, man. So am I. I moved quick. So send me that email. I'll have them updated, send it to you, post it as soon as possible. Before we get to the next section, any other things? Please.
Yeah. One more thing regarding community engagement. You mentioned relationship with the elders and certain health issues that affect specific age demographic, I guess 50s and up, right? I suppose.
We're not allowed to say that though.
What is your relationship like with some of the senior centers in the Washington Heights area? That's one. And two, when it comes to educational partnership, what do those look like at the moment?
Educational partnership would definitely be with your offices as well as other health service providers. We are affiliated with some home health care service providers, and get a lot of feedback from those clients that their elderly individuals are requesting cannabis and do not have the resources of transportation to go to actual licensed dispensary and purchase cannabis, arthritic ointments, etc., or a flower or any of the other cannabis associated products. So that was something that we were intending to actually launch a little more aggressively once our location is fully up and running, and those engagements will be coming.
I just wanted to clarify one discrepancy. I noticed, you noted that you have retail cannabis sales, you have retail delivery, and you have online order fulfillment, and you did mention that you will be having fulfillment for third-party, cannabis processors. Does that coincide with the hours of operations? So will you be able to fulfill online orders outside of hours of operations?
Nope. The platform is currently slated for a 12-hour day start time from 11 a.m. to 11 p.m.
Right.
Sir.
Okay, understood. Thank you.
Yes,
That's
sir.
a really good question. Thank you for that. Yeah, and you were also saying that you're doing some renovations on the building right now. If you're to be approved by the general board in December, when would your closest opening date ideally would be?
We're projecting right now, if everything goes well with your offices, we know we're going to be at a lag right now based on the 2 board meetings that we would have to attend in person. And I got the note. So
Yeah.
I will be.
It's not a lag. It's not a lag. It's still within timing. It has to go through the general board anyway. So if we approve it in December, when would you want to be up?
We were projecting to be up and running for delivery in late December, early Q1 2025 with in-person sales within the later quarter of Q1 2025, projecting a possible March opening.
Okay, dude, that's great. That's great. So it gives people time, to have further discussion and stuff and come to us about it. Awesome. Anything else in the about the business section before we move on to the other nits and gritty here?
Are you hiring locally?
Yeah.
Yes, we do have local residents that live in the community of Washington Heights and Inwood who are my close friends and associates that will be supporting us and our launch. And we will continue to hire as we build out our online delivery platform. And that's going to be a big bulk of the hiring standpoint that we intend to provide to the community. So that's something that we're not looking to be the next DoorDash or Amazon of cannabis, but we do have a strong background in the logistics and transportation side. We are federally licensed motor carriers and federal transportation brokers. So we have a strong background in transportation and the logistics industry. So we tend to utilize that experience that we have within transportation and logistics into the cannabis industry with the launch of our delivery platform. So that's where a lot of our investment dollars are currently being allocated towards, as well as the build out store for the retail in-person sales. But we intend to service the community like no other distributor, like no other retail dispensary. And that's what I can say for the time being that this is a public forum and I can't issue NDAs verbally. Sure. But what I can tell you is that we do intend to be an adequate growth to the community, especially with the launch of the delivery platform. We have a small storefront. I'm not larger than some of the other licensees in the community. And it's, they have a different demographic and a business model. We have a different business model. Our goal from the initial inception of my license in 2023, where OCM approved us, was to launch delivery. And that's coming from the transportation and the logistics side of our entity to now import that into a cannabis streamlined revenue to provide safe, quality, lab-tested products. Because let's be honest, guys, you're from the community, so am I. All these illicit shops, what are they selling? Laced cannabis, laced with fentanyl, laced with a lot of other materials that most people won't even know how to pronounce. The amount of chemicals infused in these products in these stores. And not on top of that, Chairman Knowles, they're taking up the real estate. So again, it took me a very long time in my entity to go ahead and secure this location in the community. So again, we tend to be a viable an intricate part of the community, along with the delivery platform. I know your other two licensees, they're not engaged in delivery at this time. However, we will now be, I would say, the role model for any other licensee that tends to come to community 12 to submit an application for cannabis licensure and want to include delivery operations. We can mentor those individuals and licensees on the delivery processes and the do's and do nots as a licensee.
For sake of recording, before I hand it over to Carmen, the 34th and 33rd precinct have done a great job about shutting down some of the illicit cannabis shops. I see them go down daily. So that's working right now. Just for progeny's sake, for the recording and concerned citizens that comes up in meetings quite often. Carmen, you have one more thing here?
Yeah. So how many employees do you currently have right now? What are their roles?
Well, it's me and my partner. I'm
Just
the managing member. My partner's the operations member, Shari Fanzuiz. And we do have a list of part-time staff. So currently right now we're about 5 strong, Carmen.
Okay.
We do have a 500 square foot space, so I can't put 12 people in the retail space. We intend to have about 6 to 8 people in there once we're up and running. But the majority of the workforce will be our drivers, and our drivers will be the key lifeline and the high dollar rates that we will be paying those drivers to execute those deliveries for our entity is a benefit to anyone that's looking for part-time employment. Once we are up and running, there will be multiple ads listed on Indeed and other platforms to a community of the job opportunities at Excite Unlimited and Unlimited Cannabis.
You can definitely add that to number 19.
Yeah, definitely add that to 19, dude. That's going to be very important.
The mentoring, coaching stuff as well.
Yeah.
That's not a problem, guys.
Awesome. Anything about business if we move on to some of the other pieces? Go for it.
Is it okay if when I reach out to them, I ask for your contact? I think I may be helpful to you.
In what aspects, sir?
I've helped set up travel agencies, some of the other ones, some of the main key industry leaders. I opened Housing Works. Yeah.
Oh, you opened the housing workshop?
Yeah, the first.
Oh, that's cool. Nice.
Awesome.
You may not have heard your role or your names.
Yeah.
You want to do that?
Originally, I worked for Drug Policy Alliance in 2015. So I helped craft this, what became the law, so forth and et cetera. Had an experience, opened a few things, operations, did a couple of exits out of California, the Bay Area, so forth, et cetera. Currently, probably have helped maybe 40, 50 people launch and get their licensure here. So I understand the regs, I understand what works. This is the only place like it is, right? What people think they know from California, from wherever, not the same, right? We live in a vertical city. The same way that we vote is the same way we shop.
Well, the good news is that the Excite Unlimited application is public now because and his email is right here. So there you go. Here, I'm gonna move the agenda just because I want to try to get some folks out and get them home to their families. So let's move into the part of the survey here, questions 21 to 25, I believe, about the premises. So we took a look on the map, and I didn't see anything that was like of sensitive dwelling or place of worship around in this area. You took a look at it too. There was no dispute about that, correct?
No.
Cool. So that basically takes care of questions 21, 22, 23. If your business is located congruent with residential buildings, please describe your outreach efforts. This is the important part, my dude. You talked about this already. For question number 24, everything that you had said about you had reached out to the local business that'll be your neighbors, to the senior, you have senior representation for some of the senior centers, and this is what you're filling, like from like an underrepresented market. Those are the kind of things you want to put into question 24. Because it's there that people are going to want to know, have you had a conversation with some of your neighbors? So make sure you have that in there, like specifically. Mention the smoke shop, mention the games shop, like mention those things for sure in this. That's going to be important.
The hardware
Um,
store, there's the
Yeah,
bar
and
across
and the
the street from
residents
us.
and the residents of the multi-use building. Mention that here in 24. 25. Will there be any modifications to the exterior of the building? No modifications. You said it was a small, you can say like it's a small storefront. Most of our, focus for business is going to be on delivery service once we get that up and running. So it's going to be a very simple shop. Say that here in number 25. People just want to know, are you going to have lights or, wavy hand airmen
Not
out
at all,
there and
sir.
things?
We
Yeah,
don't
no,
even
and I know
intend to have
that's not,
a
doesn't
lit
seem
up
like your
sign.
vibe. Totally cool. And so but just to make sure you let people know it's a very modest, storefront. We're gonna be really focused on the delivery, blah, 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 blah. That's where you want to let them know here. Cool. All right. And then number 26, is the site landmarked or part of historical district? Nope. No, that's the case. Anything in that section you guys want to add? It's pretty cut and dry to me.
Right.
Carmen?
On 24.
Yeah.
I'll say just add, what are your communications like? Like, are you personally going to hand out any sort of pamphlets to the neighbors? Like, what does your communication look like with the community? All right, like, what does your outreach look like? Specify, are you putting QR codes in front of the business and telling folks, here, save our store hours in advance? Like, what does your outreach and communication look like? That's the one thing I wanted to 24.
There
Yeah,
was
or
to
if
hit
it's
the hammer on the nail. There will be a QR code on our windows. Our windows will be frosted, but there will be the QR code that identifies our location as a licensed New York State premises. Two, there will be a QR code that will identify our hours of operation and direct traffic directly to our website where they can learn more about our products and services.
And then also, oh shoot, I lost it. Hector, you were gonna say something?
It's more so for the method of operation.
Go for it.
Regarding.
Oh, is it the next section?
Yeah, it's the next section.
Oh, no, we haven't moved on yet. Yeah, so certainly with that outreach, then let them know about, your verbal conversations, anything like Jermina said, where it was like, you've had literature up. We're gonna get you that updated bill to post. We're gonna get that to you. And since you're gonna get this to me before the 16th, you'll have it. You can we've also posted, we posted our official, community board bill. Like you can put that on this too. And then that'll also be outreach.
That's fine.
Anything else for this section before we move on? All right, let's move on. Method of operation. Was it for the first question? You had something to say, Hector?
Regarding the form of delivery,
What number is that?
it's not listed on here. The type of transportation, so I know it's right along Broadway, and that street gets heavily congested with double parked
That's a
cars.
really good question.
So is it like bicycles, mopeds, delivery cars, and stuff like that?
Good question.
It will be delivery bikes and vehicles, sir.
Okay. And I know that sidewalk too. That's a pretty big
Right,
sidewalk.
and it has a scaffolding.
Yeah, it has scaffolding above it. It
We're
should be
projecting
fine.
the scaffolding to be removed very soon. I've been advocating to the
Yeah,
landlord.
your lips to God ears, man.
Does the business own a vehicle currently?
We own several vehicles, Carmen. That is correct. Yes.
Cool.
And it'll be contactless transactions, correct? So all payments will be done via the website, I believe?
That is correct.
Okay.
Yeah, we're using a software called Cova, which is a great software, guys, because we will be identifying our clientele online and in person. We scan IDs. The customer will then be verified by my staff before entry into the premises as well.
Great. Where are those vehicles stored?
Here in my offices, White Plains, New York.
Okay, got it. So like at night after every when you close down services, you bring them back to White Plains, or will you? They're not going to be kept on the street, is what I'm asking. Certainly not going to be kept on the sidewalk.
We have secured parking up, and I'm also a licensed New York State motor vehicle dealer. So my dealership's here. So we do have our vehicles will be coming back to White Plains.
Good. That's great to know because that's certainly going to be a question for us. Awesome. All right, so let's go through the numbers here. So please list the requested days and hours of operation. Projected online sales, retail delivery services hours, 11 to 11, as you said. Monday through Friday, 12 p.m. to 8 p.m.
On the weekends.
On weekends. It's shorter on weekends. Gotcha. Cool. That's fine with us.
And that's projected now. That is projected now, guys, the 12 to 8 window. And that is projected as that was our initial intended launch in 23. Now, I have been reviewing other licensees, and other licensees that I have great communications with have told me that their peak time is Thursday through Saturday, but Monday through Wednesday, they're kind of dry. So the projected hours, 12 to 8, that's all projected currently. That is subject to change. I don't
Sure.
see no changes on Sunday. Sunday will remain the same. The only
Cool.
date that might have a potential change is that Saturday window.
Cool.
I am a
And
father of two. I have
What
a
does look
I have a family of my own. Do I want to chain myself to my business 247? No, but I have two young kids
Yeah.
that I provide and support. But however, I will make that amendment to changing the Saturday schedule hours as the business needs fit. So, and that's just only for in-person sales. The platform online will run from 11 a.m. to 11 p.m.
Right.
Monday through Friday, 12 to 8 on weekends.
You got something?
He said that that was just a projected
Yeah.
time. What would the alternative be? Like, what have you been considering?
Yeah, Carmen. Good question. So Saturday, if we are, seeing a majority of traffic on Saturday that meets expectations for the business to stay open till 11, then that's the only time that we will introduce that to your offices and to the office
Cool.
management.
And,
But
and,
right
and,
now, until further notice, that is the slated time: 12 to
Cool.
8 on weekends, 11 a.m. to 11 p.m. Monday through Friday.
And we've had this come up before with companies that are looking to get our review. And it's good to have at least like this projected time here, just because we're also kind of open if you did need to revise them. The only thing we're really looking for here is, does it disrupt like people's sleep time? Because that's the only thing, like if there's gonna be people like hanging out outside around a certain time because your store's open at 12 a.m. Like, so 11 p.m. I think is congruent with some of the other ones that we have in the area. So this should be fine.
I appreciate
Cool.
that. Thank you, Chairman Knowles.
All right, so let's see here. Addresses of all exits and entrances. One exit and entry located. So this is just the storefront. There's no back exit. It's just that
It's
one
a
way
one
in,
in, one out.
way
Sir.
out.
One in,
Okay,
one out.
very
Unit 2, is that, it's ground floor. Okay, I guess there's two. There's two businesses in this location. Is that why it says unit 2?
Yes, Carmen. We are unit 2, and the cigar shop, which is Aroma Cigars, they are unit.
Oh, gotcha. Cool.
Got it.
Didn't know that about the place. Cool. So ADA compliancy, yes, that's right, because that area, there's no steps to get into that building. That's good.
Well, we also do have a ramp, Chairman Knowles, in our storefront. So we will be
Good.
definitely supporting anyone that has disabilities, because they'll
Getting
be
that
able to.
CBD oil solve. I got you. Total numbers. So what's your occupancy limit for the size of the storefront?
64.
Wow. Okay, got
And
it.
we don't
I see.
intend to have 64 people at us.
Yeah. Okay, cool. So that's pretty deep then, because I know the cigar shop is pretty deep. I've been in there a few times.
We have more
But,
width
yeah.
than them. They have more length. We have more width in unit 2. So we're about 20 feet in length. They're
Okay.
around 15 feet in length. So we have a little more
Gotcha.
width than they do, sir.
Got you. Okay, cool. That's good to know. Estimated employees, we kind of knew that. Are you planning to have limited consumption? Okay, good. No on-site consumption.
Not
This
at
is
all.
going to be something that we're going to hold you to, for sure. So
I
if someone's
don't
like, "Oh my
have the
God,"
license for that, Chairman Knowles.
Yeah,
And I never
yeah.
applied for that license. That is something
And-
that, if in fact we secure another location that meets that expectation, 4441 Broadway, we have no intentions on having an in-person setting there for on-site consumption.
Well, this is good to know, because we're about to get into some interesting questions here about events you're going to be hosting on site and also your security, because people like to hang out. So let's just get right into it, right? So
Yeah.
Are you planning to host cannabis events at the premises? If so, please describe their nature. You said, yes, once approved to commence operations, new vendor product displays, new product educational events, but
That's correct.
no consumption during those events, correct? For the record?
We have no intentions on having any. One, my license doesn't permit it now.
Yep.
So I would have to go get a component to the current license we have, and with the OCM and this, their current focus on getting applicants through the system, we don't have an intended need at this immediate time to have on-site consumption. Nor was that the vision when I applied for licensure.
Totally. And that's all well and clear, but human's gonna human, and the community might see them associated with you if they're smoking on your corner, is what I'm saying. That's really what I'm getting
Well, I
at.
can tell you this much. Yesterday, I was in front of my storefront. We just recently painted our gate. I'm in the process of updating my gate to make it compliant per DOB requirements. We do have till 2026 to get my gate compliant. And I did notify my superintendent that the residents seem to be smoking cannabis in front of the building. And I advised that when my security staff is on site, we will be advising the residents to take that upstairs behind closed doors or away from the premises within a 200 feet standing.
Exactly. You don't want no smoke, pun intended. So like that's a really good way to have like your frame of mind right now, because sometimes that comes up from the public, but I think you've got a good plan of that.
No, we
Any
have no
questions
intention
from
to be having cannabis consumed on site,
Good.
sir.
Any questions so far from the committee members? Good to keep going? All right. So please describe security measures. Be sure to include number of cameras, security personnel, 90 days playback security measures, good. Indoor and outdoor, good. Wireless solar cameras, good. 24 hours installed outdoor to be installed indoor, good. HU viewpoints, security staff members, scanning legal. Okay, cool. So let's talk about this. This is a question that comes up a lot. Are you planning on hiring security from the neighborhood, like from the community?
Yeah, I have no problem if they have a New York State security license. If not,
Yes.
you know, if then they would, if they're not certified by New York State with a security license, they would only be able to act as security indoor. But if they do have a licensed security license from the state of New York, a security guard license, and they could provide a copy of that certificate, then that's something that we will consider hiring.
Yeah, we
outdoor.
definitely highly advise the cannabis folks that come through us to hire security from the neighborhood because they understand our neighborhood's culture. And if you get folks from, say, Long Island or something like that, and I'm really happy to crap on Long Island here, like it's just not going to work. So so definitely make sure to hire folks from the neighborhood for security. It's going to be a question that might come up during the general board meeting. It's come up before. And just be ready for that answer. Even to a point where in the initial reviews of applications, we had the security team that would be there in present. So just keep that in mind. That might be something we come back around to later. Build on the questions there because I know that y'all probably got some for this section on the security pieces of it. No, it's pretty clear.
No, I did have a question about the delivery. We may have passed that. You said that delivery would be all to New York City. What's your range?
Great question. No. Damn, that was a good question too. Because he's like, yo, we going to Jersey, baby.
Right.
Anywhere from, like, the way the law is written,
Yeah.
he can deliver Niagara Falls if he's got enough volume of business.
Yeah.
So he's thinking.
Okay, but that's-
He's gonna find weak spots.
Yeah.
Don't have locations, and he's gonna spend. The difference is.
It's just economies of scale if he wants to pay
Yeah.
for it or not. The
Pizza
demand's there.
delivery versus an ice cream truck. He's gonna do ice cream truck.
Okay, while he comes back, which I'm hoping he's gonna come back, I just wanna
Yeah.
Right, well, we were almost done, but
Yeah.
as far as, okay, great.
Hey, there we go. We were just talking about supply and demand. Can you hear us?
I think he's still
You got us
connected.
back?
Hi, guys.
There he is. Cool. Carmen had the question about your delivery range area. We were having a conversation about supply and demand, where basically you go where the demand is. But do you have like a set primary delivery area that you have in mind?
It's the entire 5 boroughs. The radius will be New York, New York County, the Bronx County, Queens County, Brooklyn, Staten Island, as well as Long Island and Westchester will be our radius. We do intend to service the Hudson Valley area, but that will be on a case-by-case basis where we will either then submit those orders that come in from northern Westchester or up in the Hudson Valley to other licensees and refer that business. But if the customers are willing for us to actually execute those orders, then we will give them a 2 to 4 hour delivery window.
Very good. 2 to 4 hour delivery window. Okay, got it. That helps me understand the range. Really cool. How will you manage sidewalks, crowd control, vehicular, security staff members? You kind of talked about this already, directing sidewalk traffic. Okay, we talked about parking of vehicles. Will there be any amplified sound? No sound systems. Clear. It's not a party scene. Will the business conduct delivery? Yes. I mean, we just talked about this at length. And I think that once you update some of these answers, people will know exactly how you're going to be doing it. Good. And that was it. Anything else? Yes.
Who will be supplying the cannabis? Is it 1 or 2 or multiple? How many distributors or providers do you have? Suppliers, I should say.
Growers, tell us about your growers. Are they from New York State?
They have to be, I think. Yeah.
600 brands right now.
Well, to answer everyone's question, including board member Carmen, the cultivators that we're working with are all licensed New York State cultivators. They're either AU cultivators, adult use cultivators. OCM has allowed the medical market now to distribute adult use cannabis. So we are going to be favoring the AU cultivators. However, what they're called ROs. So the registered organizations that applied for licensure with OCM, they are the medical marijuana giants that have now been given a green light to manufacture cannabis to the adult use market. So we're going to be very key on what ROs we buy from, but we are currently projecting to buy from adult use cannabis AU licensees to support the AU licensees and their come up, because if it wasn't for them, we wouldn't have a place to be here in front of you guys now.
Got you. Dude, well, thank you for that answer. Look, let's do this. Let's talk about next steps one more time just to make sure we're all clear. Yeah, go ahead. You want
No. I'll let you go first.
Oh, go for it, Carmen. Oh, did you want me to go first?
Yeah, I just wanted to see what you were gonna say.
Oh, okay, yeah.
'Cause I feel like this is happening like very fast.
Yeah, it's happening very fast. So let's just talk
so
about
this
next
is
steps
not-
here. Let's talk about next steps. So next steps, first step is to update your application with some of the pointers we gave you tonight. Just flesh out some more of your answers, because I think you have the right answers. This is, in the way that you were answering those questions, if you were here, and probably if those answers were on this application, we would have probably approved it tonight, but it's all good because we have another shot at this apple. So update the application, get it to us as soon as you can. Meanwhile, I'll work with the office to get you an updated bill to post on your wall. Are you frozen? Are you gone? Oh, you're here.
I'm
Okay,
here,
cool.
sir. I'm listening.
Okay, cool. Cool. I'll contact the office, get that updated bill to you with the information you have here, and we'll have that emailed to you to post as soon as you get it. So that way you can not only put in the application that you've posted this, but you can also make sure that you say this at the general board meeting. Third step, which is the next step, is on December 16th, the executive committee meeting. What we're gonna do, because I'm gonna give you a little peek behind the hood here, you're gonna send us the updated questionnaire to the office. The office will get it to us as the committee, and then we're gonna virtually just go through the answers and say, okay, this reads like exactly what he was saying to us on the phone. Does everyone feel good here about supporting this in the executive committee meeting? We all kind of say that, yeah.
So I don't feel comfortable supporting as the application as is.
As is, definitely
So
not.
absolutely
Definitely
not.
not as is.
I think that it does need to get updated. I don't think we actually have enough time because the December meeting is pushed, and that's not your fault. That was pushed because of the holidays. So the general board meeting is gonna be December 17th. To me,
It's the
this
next
feels
day.
very, right, it feels very rushed. So I'm not sure how we'll have time to do it that day and, do it on the executive, then pass the resolution, review the application, and all within a span of weeks. My suggestion is for us to do this on January 6th. I hate that we would likely have to push this. It's just my suggestion, and just how I feel about it, because it just feels very rushed. And I do think that this really does merit like attention, and it just shouldn't be like, okay,
feel that.
let's update
I
this.
appreciate
We
that.
should get going, next meeting, executive, and like,
It's kind of a crazy month because it's so
it really
early.
is.
Had it been like a regular kind of
And,
month.
right, had it been December 20, had it been
Usually December
December
31st, it would have been the
24th, it
31st.
really would have been like 3.5 weeks.
Yeah, it would have been
Which gives it
31st.
more time. This doesn't, yeah.
Well, what questions to highlight? What questions are you asking my offices to update on that application?
All
You
of
mentioned
it.
questions
Yeah.
17 and 18.
It's like we've
Yeah, so like
been very
honestly,
kind to go through this in
Yeah,
detail,
yeah.
but like.
I mean, because granted, and look, I just want to be rip the Band-Aid off, full
I know
disclosure
this is
here.
being very nice.
Yes, full disclosure here. In the way that it was now, more than likely, we wouldn't have even discussed this today, to be quite honest. We want to do this not to waste your time, and certainly because it's good, for the public to see us going through due diligence here. So first and foremost, so we did want to go through this. That being said, Carmen is right. Like I am trying to make it work, but it might be too fast. Like, and I want to hear from the other board members here too, because it does take all of us. Like, how do you feel about like trying to push it through really quickly? Because if I'm hearing this correctly too, San Andreas, it sounds like if you're targeting let's say even at best a late February open, we still have time to get this to you. You don't have to stop anything you're doing to get
That's a
approval.
contingent on, this meeting is contingent on my investment in the community. So if I'm not getting from what I'm gathering, that the board members are not interested in entertaining Excite Unlimited in the community, then why would I continue making
No,
it?
my friend.
No,
That's not what this is.
I'm going to have to go to the
that's not what
OCM
this
and
is.
fight with the OCM to
No, my friend.
authorize us to operate in the community.
Yeah, look, this isn't what this is.
Because you're asking me to change the answers on my on the application
Well,
where
then
I
let's vote
felt
on it
those
as is.
answers were qualified.
Because
To generalize
Okay.
the
Well,
topic,
look,
you can ask me anything individually, but we did answer those questions diligently. I didn't leave
Here's the
anything
deal.
out.
Look, we can give you, well, look, we can
And he's
give
not
you,
your person.
we can give you,
So
we can give you an option here. Because if we voted on this as is, you would have to come back anyway in 2 months. But it would not go through as is. This
Right.
application would not go through as it is. Now you can update the
We
application.
can vote on it if you
Absolutely.
like.
I would highly suggest not voting on this application because it would not work and you would get even more delayed. So look, I'm trying to work.
That's fine. If that's what your office chooses to do, we have no problem with that.
No, what we choose to do, my friend, is let you update your application so it's in a place for us to approve it because we want this to work as much as you do. Trust me, we really do. We've been thirsting for more companies to come in. We are happy that you're here. You have a great
We
story.
we can't invest in the community if we're gonna have some sort of static with you guys, or you guys holding us back from launching our platform.
Let me just do a quick point of order. We use this time to provide you certain feedback
Which we
due to
didn't
the
have to.
application being, it didn't give us the application that you put forward. It's completely different than what we just spoke about. It's
It is.
two
completely
different
different.
stories. So like we mentioned to you before, where you're speaking, you should be able to write it on paper. That's all we're trying to say to you right now.
But
This
I
is
did
just
write
feedback.
on paper, and I did answer those questions diligently.
Okay. Look, here's the deal. If you can, get us the
After he
updated
lets us
application.
vote on it
Get us the
today
application.
or not?
Let's not vote on it because he's not here. It just doesn't go through.
Okay.
But here's the deal. If you can update the application, get it to us. We'll have the office send you an updated bill to post. If you do get it to us, I will have a conversation with the members if we still can do this and with the chair, with Catherine, just to let her know what's going on, see if she feels that, we don't do it that way. And then we'll have the office let you know if we're going to get it through for the executive committee, which it sounds like it's not going to happen. And then if we're going to reevaluate it, the updated application in January, because the application doesn't need to update it, it would be voted down as is, just plain and simple.
Hey man,
So
that's the community's loss, because I'm a member of the community, and you
so you're
can't
saying you're not going to update
continue
this?
investing
You're
my
not gonna update
capital
this?
into the community, and then to sit here and have
Okay.
static with the community.
Listen, I think
telling me that
we're
didn't
clear on the
answer an
next steps.
application correctly, which
Look,
I
I hear
actually
you, my
did.
man. I think we're clear on the next steps. Look, we're on your side. I think we're clear with the next steps.
Excuse me?
Update the application. I think we're clear on I think we're clear. No, we're good. We're good. Look, I think we're clear on the next steps. Send us an updated application. We will try to do what we can. But as Carmen said, I do think this is a bit rushed, especially now. And we will probably take this back up in January. But the number one thing is you have to update this application. We cannot do anything until you update this application.
Okay,
because if you want us to vote.
So in closing, Chairman, recap every question or send me an email with every question you're requesting my office to update that.
No,
application.
just update the application, dude. Just update the
Yeah,
application.
but no, you keep saying
more
update the
descriptive
application.
answers.
What specific question besides 17 and 18 that you're requesting?
I'll
me
just
to-
say all of them. I'll just say all of them.
And this is the point of this meeting because, we have the live video. There's gonna be a recording that you got is on YouTube. This, you could have taken some notes the same way we made some notes to prepare for you.
Yeah.
So we wanna make this fair for everyone participating. This
Yeah.
is not to attack. This is no sort of.
We want this to work for you, dude. Honest to God, we want this to work for you because our community does need this.
Because
And
there's a lot
so
of
just
investment that
update
my
the
company is
application.
making into the location that we
Of
hold
course.
right now. So we
Just-
want to create that relationship with your office before
And we want nothing
go
more.
to the
Just
state to procure.
And this is the beginning of the relationship, my
State.
friend. And this is the beginning of the relationship. Just update the application, send it in. We will get back to you on when we can review the updated application and put it through the process. That's all we can do right now. That's all we can do. And I'm sorry. I gotta move this agenda. People gotta get home to their families. You gotta get home to your families. You got kids too, as do I. So I'm gonna close the application review and then move on to this last piece of business, open discussion forum for new business. Any new business in front of the committee? Nope. All right. Can I get,
I don't have new business, but
Yes.
it's old business.
yes,
Can we get a calendar going to tour these dispensaries?
the two we got now?
The two that we have.
Of course, I tour them
Yeah.
like almost every week.
Yeah, so
Come with me.
I've gone to Happy Monkey. I went to the grand opening.
Yeah, we
I
can
would
definitely
love
do
for
it.
us to like do
Let's
that
do
and
it.
also open it to the general board.
Yeah.
So I'm wondering, maybe I'll
Let's
just. I'll
make that a
connect-
March thing because winter gets rough. So like let's make that a March thing. Maybe we can set up for the board. We'll do like community board day in
Yeah,
March.
because
You wanted
December
to say
meeting
one
is
thing,
gonna
right?
get very.
What do you wanna do?
Yeah.
And
So
there
let's.
was a hat I saw.
Oh, there's a hand.
Oh. So
I
sorry.
looks like
let
we're
me
the only
check.
people on here. Sorry
One
about that. I didn't see that.
Let me check this.
Sure.
Just make sure.
I thought that he was the only person on there.
Yeah.
Oh, there's 5 people? Oh my, sorry, public. We didn't know that you guys were,
There is a hand.
bring him in. Aracela, yo.
Hi, everyone.
Hey, good to Aracela comes to our meetings quite a lot. She's with CUNY. She's doing a study about like basically the community's effect of retail marijuana dispensaries opening up in the area. Good to hear from you. Come on in here. What you got for
Hi,
new business?
Aracela.
Yes. I wish I could have joined you all in person. But I wanted to just make sure that we touch base and possibly set up a time to circle back to the survey and maybe talk about what was learned, some of the data that came through.
Nice.
It looks like you might have some things on the docket for the January 6th meeting. So the February meeting, I would be happy to.
Yeah, we
Are
definitely do that
do you
January
already
6th.
have the data? Do you already have the data? Or no?
So
Because we haven't closed it yet, right?
I think that we closed it at the end of November, I believe. And I think
That's
that
great.
the final numbers that came through were 96 for the English and 11 for the Spanish. And so we do need to go through and make sure that those were all complete surveys, but those were the numbers that came through. But we would definitely like to.
And they're gonna be analyzed and crunched by January 6th?
I think that might be possible. I'm also trying to give a little buffer time just in case, because of the holidays.
Yeah, if you need us to push it to February, no problem. The holidays are kind of crazy in the middle of the week every week this year.
Yeah.
So like, look, we'll put you on for January 6th. Do not let that be like a rush on your bandwidth. We can easily kick it to February if you need to.
Okay, sounds good.
Awesome. Because then after that, I'd want you to come and give like a little soundbite to the general meeting, just like a quick 2-minute blurb of what you found. And so that would be either that month or the following.
Okay, yeah, sounds good.
Cool. Thank you. Anyone else I missed on the virtual piece? If not, can I get a call? Oh, do you want to say something?
I more so had like a question.
Yeah.
Cause you know, I do a lot of community work around my way. I'm around the PAL in East New York, so I work
Cool.
with Sandy Nurse and I work with a guy named Dominique Alexander, and we do a lot of community work together. We just gave out turkeys on Thanksgiving a few days ago. My mother owns a series of delis, so you know, I've been into the retail business since young, you know, but more so with sandwiches,
All right.
and, you know, stuff like that. You know, I'm very involved in the Muslim community.
Okay.
So I wanted to know how could I expand that to other communities outside of East New York, outside of Brooklyn, you know, stretching all the way to Manhattan, Washington Heights. Like, how could I be more involved in other communities across the city?
In which way?
In terms of, you know, when a dispensary opens, something more deeper than just delivery, you know, something where like, you know, we could give back to the community instead of just profit off of it.
Well, can I
Please,
just
please,
first start
please,
by
please.
saying you should definitely come to these meetings.
Yes.
We do have a lot of business owners that come, the other dispensary business owners. We at least have Happy Monkey that comes to these meetings routinely. We have other key stakeholders. We're trying to get more people to come to these meetings, but this is just like a perfect way to at least find out
Yeah.
what is happening. We're gonna get a lot into education early next year. We haven't gotten to that brainstorming section yet, and now that we have this application, we kind of use this time or this month really to review the application.
Yep.
But we're really hoping to do a lot much more of the education piece and how we're giving back. So we would love for you to like
Come
join
through, yeah.
us in like the meetings in the upcoming months. You can also join online, and then we can just like collaborate that way. And
Yeah.
that's the easiest and best way to do it.
It might seem slow, but it's not.
Do you guys have a calendar of upcoming meetings?
Right.
Yes.
Well, this is the December calendar, but you can just remember it like this: Cannabis Taskforce every Monday, 6:30. Every first Monday, 6:30. Yeah, you can do this.
And also you can go on our website.
Yeah, it's on the website too.
You should join the CB12 newsletter as well, so you can get like
Updates,
monthly
right?
updates on what's
Yeah.
going on. There's a lot of opportunities to like a lot of community organizations that
Definitely.
sometimes look for volunteers and stuff like that, so
Cool.
it's a lot of.
And Christmas is coming, I'm sure there's a lot of people that need food
Yeah,
and you have deli. So I think there's a correlation.
there's a collab in there somewhere, maybe.
Somewhere for everyone.
Awesome. Anything else, guys? Can I get a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
Seconded? All right. Thank you very much.
You guys are.
Awesome. Thank you so much, everyone, for your time.
Thank you, everyone.
Have a good night. We'll be talking.
I will be bothering you guys.
Yeah, well, we're around. I mean, you have to,
I like how you.
I get a lot of spam in my Gmail, so you have to. Yeah.
Hi, Valeska. I see that you just joined us. We unfortunately just finished the meeting, but if you have any updates, you have my email. We'd love to hear from you.
Good to see you,
Let
Valeska.
us know.